Yo, 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 yo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's fresh and funky. We live and direct out in the out this West Coast, baby. Waking up. It's 10, about 10:19, 10:20 in the AMs out here in the West. I am Kenny Manny, aka Funky Fresh Podcast Man. I sit here and talk about sports and a lot of other things, to say the least. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is a Thursday. This is May 6th, 2021. We'll talk about what's popping in the sports. Kind of get into a little bit of fantasy sports a little bit where I'm playing, and also we'll even get to do some DFS here tonight or today, I should say. Do some DFS. Run some early numbers of the numbers of as far as those people that want to get out here and gamble, want to actually do the damn thing out here. But I welcome y'all. Welcome y'all. In case y'all don't know, I mean, I'm not no sportscasting dude, just a man with a plan. This is kind of plan, kind of as this goes on and goes by. Definitely gonna get better at it. So without further ado, let me get into this sporting news here. The biggest headlines. All right, we got some early morning baseball going on right now here. We got the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. They're in the first inning, no score. We have the Houston Astros and the New York Yankees in the first inning, 0-0. Detroit Tigers and the Boston Red Sox, 0-0. And then we had the bottom of the first. We had the Minnesota Twins up 1-0 on the Texas Rangers. There is a delay in the St. Louis Cardinals game in St. Louis because of weather, obviously, and against the Mets. And then 11:10 a.m. my time, but obviously 3 hours difference, y'all in the East Coast. You got the Cleveland Tribe going into playing in Kansas City. That game might be delayed as well, being St. Louis and Kansas City are in the same state. It's been a lot of inclement bad weather, so wow, Angel Hernandez is not having a great week as an umpire down there in Kansas City, making some really bad calls. But what referee or what judge has made a bad call or the wrong call, and then it comes out that, oh, well, I made the wrong call. Well, that still doesn't change the fact that the team that probably should have won or shouldn't have got a run or whatever should. So the Packers checking out veteran quarterbacks, I guess, trying to have the Aaron Rodgers contingency plan here. As those of you that don't know, Aaron Rodgers has basically said he's not really happy with the Green Bay Packers. He doesn't really want to go back to them. Yesterday, he basically called their GM the equivalency of Jerry Krause. And those of you who don't know who Jerry Krause is, Jerry Krause still, to this day, is the general manager of the Chicago Bulls that broke up the Dynasty Bulls, may I add. So, I mean, is that the situation that's going on there with Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Could Aaron Rodgers just be in his head? I mean, he had MVP caliber year, so I don't see what the problem or the issue is, honestly, to be real with y'all. Dolphins might make room for ex-Colts safety Malik Hooker. Well, Miami's done pretty well so far, as far as trying to build on the future, and their defense is definitely really solid going forward. The offense is going to be moving, and now they got some, obviously got some good parts there with Will Fuller, the fifth or whatever you want to call him. Yeah, he's down there, guys, but you also got to remember he is also suspended. Got suspended, I guess, last year in the off season, probably for some, whatever. If you're in the quote unquote program, the NFL programming for if you test positive for PEDs or anything of that nature, or you like to smoke the marijuana, they always like to hammer the guys in the NFL about that. Lions to cut former second round pick running back here. Well, they already did. Y'all don't know Kerryon Johnson is no longer going to be a member of the Detroit Lions. So that puts another formidable young running back, but he does have some wear and tear, a lot, injury concerns. Obviously, that's been the main reason why he's not there anymore. But hey, let's go. Let's say 10 instant impact rookies. Several defensive players appear ready to step in, like Jermaine Davis behind Washington's loaded defensive line here. If those of you don't know, Jermaine Davis is a linebacker from Kentucky. He was drafted by the Washington football team. Let's see. Exactly who they say here. The ranking the top 10 instant impact rookies for the 2021 season. Which rookies are bound to hit the ground running this year? A story by Chris Tapasso. Oh no! Oh no! All right. Sorry about that. There's a little bit of. Okay, let's read here. Now that the draft picks have been considered rookies, it's time to pinpoint which will be ready to make instant impact as players. One of my favorite phrases to type this time of the year on the NFL calendar, because remind you, just about every team is technically in win now mode, given how short patience has become in today's society. Last year, Justin Herbert erupted out of the gate, so did Tristan Wirfs and Justin Jefferson and Chase Young. Here's my list of the top 10 instant impact rookies from the 2021 draft class. It says, excuse me. He said, you'll notice that he didn't include quarterbacks. Outrageously, obviously, you learn nothing from me writing Trevor Lawrence is an instant impact, which is a no-brainer, obviously. But this guy's going for guys that maybe nobody really is looking at or understands or knows right now. Number 10, Richie Grant, safety drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. Grant was my selection for the Falcons' best pick when factoring value. Will be an instant impact. The Falcons' safety group consists of Eric Harris, Duron Harmon, and 2020 fourth-round pick Jalen Hawkins. Grant brings the most energy and sheer versatility to that collection of safeties. However, the Falcons want to use him, and it's likely he'll wear a versatility of hats. Grant will excel, just like what was the case at Central Florida. He's an older prospect who will turn 24 in November, so there's better be an early return on the Falcons, making Grant the number 40 overall selection in the 2021 draft. Number 9, Elijah Moore. I agree with that. I think he's definitely the way the Jets are going right now. They got Jamison Crowder, obviously the established man. You got Elijah Moore there now. You got Corey Davis they brought in as well from the free agency. So you got three. You're going to have three productive, possibly three healthy, productive receivers for the new Jets, new and improved New York Jets offense. So I believe that's going to help them out. Andre Cisco, safety for the Jaguars. Well, obviously, any type of help to what the Jaguars defense was last year will definitely be a sure impacted help. Azazi Ojulari, edge rusher from the Giants. Didn't deserve to have to wait until pick 50th. He was the 50th pick in the 2021 draft to hear his name called. He was a consistent pressure creator as a 20-year-old pass rusher in the SEC at University of Georgia between the hedges. And I get it. The safe assumption with a 6'2", 249-pound edge defender is that he gets worked against the run. That's not the case with Ojulari. He sets a mean edge and can rip through blockers to make impact plays in the backfield against the run. But of course, the main reason he was selected by the Giants was to get after the quarterback. And the former Bulldog star has the first has the first step burst and bend around the corner speed to power conversion and just enough power rush moves to be a high caliber pressure generator in the NFL. Number 6, Brady Christensen, offensive tackle for the Panthers. You know, that's a good move. As far as the Panthers, they're trying to rebuild the line a little bit here. They got a new quarterback, Sam Darnold, who's basically moving from New York down into Carolina, which I feel is a good spot for Sam Darnold. Maybe it could be a sneaky. Those of you playing fantasy, or Sam Darnold could be what you would call a sleeper quarterback. I mean, nobody's really expecting too much out of him, right? So why not? So he's got Brady Christensen, which I think that helps. They have Greg Little there as well on the line, so that helps build that line for obviously Sam Darnold and hopefully a healthy Christian McCaffrey. Number 5, Asante Samuel Jr. He was drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers. I think this is definitely a solid pick to build around that secondary. Obviously, Derwin James was hurt last year, so Derwin James will be fresh and refreshing coming off that injury. And I think having Derwin James there to learn from, and obviously Asante Samuel Jr. His father was a great corner, so his father will obviously has taught him really good technique. And the Chargers defense was getting sneakily good last year. I think a lot of injuries kind of because a lot of people were expecting that Chargers defense to be strong, led by Joey Bosa and company. But nonetheless, I think Asante Samuel Jr. Along as a lot of these guys aren't hurt most of the year, I think they definitely will make some solid impacts here. And we got number 4, Jalen Phillips. That was the defensive end guy I thought the Vikings should have got, but the Dolphins got up there and took him here. I think that the Dolphins are building upon their young defense that they had last year. It was really strong, and trying to get some young fast guys in there, some disruptors to help that backside, which was pretty well with Byron Jones and some of the young prospects in the secondary. So, and then they got some obviously they lost, I think, Kyle Van Noy to free agency. But that's okay. I think they also drafted some. So, I mean, I think Jaleen Phillips, long as he stays healthy, I think he could definitely, he's got some speed. He's kind of, they're saying he had a concussion. Yeah, he had not had no concussion concern. So, okay. And he's he's a consistent 3-down rusher in the NFL, Obviously, and then we got Jamin Davis here joins obviously Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, last year's first pick. I mean, they're really building something down there at Washington here. That defense is, but that's anywhere you've seen a Ron Rivera team when it was with the Bears, obviously, and then it was obviously with the Panthers. You'll notice Ron Rivera has really strong defenses. He's got guys out there that are going to play defense and going to play his style of defense. And usually it's very disruptive and it's very it's hard to, really figure out at times. Then you got number 2, Jamar Chase. Obviously, that's going to be a almost a no-brainer as well. It's like Jalen Waddle with Tua. You're reuniting college teammates together in the pros. These guys obviously they know each other, and so I think Jamar Chase with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I mean, that makes a really solid three-headed receiver attack. T. Higgins definitely stepped up, and Tyler Boyd, speaks for himself. He's basically the senior man in that receiving core right now. And then they give Joe Burrow another high-powered offense, so that way he can spread the offense more and makes it hard for the defense to do. And so that helps the Bengals going forward offensively. Number one, they think Kyle Pitts here definitely. I think with Matt Ryan, you give Matt Ryan another weapon, and as long as Julio Jones can stay healthy, and with Calvin Ridley there, it's going to be tough there. You're going to have to guard. Imagine having to guard Julio Jones, a healthy Julio Jones, a healthy Calvin Ridley, and a healthy Kyle Pitts there. That's going to be. So maybe just one last hoorah for Matt Ryan and company. I know there was rumors that Julio Jones was going to get traded, but it never fruitioned. Unless you're getting back three future first round picks, like basically with the, basically if you're like the given you're the Jaguars and gave up, Jalen Ramsey, and basically you're getting future first picks and all that, then that's fine. But if you're not going to get anything in return, you don't trade a guy like that. So definitely, remains to see. A lot of good rookies that were drafted. We'll like to see some other rookies in the second, third, and fourth rounds. The guys that were the quote unquote the steals of the draft is what I like to call them, and with the guys that aren't drafted first in the second round. The third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth guys. Like Brady, like Antonio Brown. Then you got guys that weren't drafted, like Darren Waller, for instance, guys. And I don't know, was James Robinson? I don't know, James Robinson. I don't think he was drafted last year either, as far as the impact rookie last year. I think he was undrafted rookie and made an impact there. So it's remaining to see what Jacksonville's going to do, and all these teams are going to do. It's going to be awesome to see football again. I don't know, training camps will probably start opening up here and there. And, obviously there's one extra game this year in the NFL. They decided to cut preseason. And, some players like Russell Wilson and Mike Evans aren't very happy. They want more time to rest. They don't want extra games because of the wear and tear on their bodies. And you play the game and you want to get paid. NFL, you got to look at this. You got to look at this as far as, the only other shorter sports than the NFL is college football. They usually have about, 12, 13 games maybe, and then you get, the playoffs, and that's it. NFL, you got the NBA that has about 82 games. You have the Major League Baseball that has over 100 some odd games, 162 or something like that. It's a full season. NHL, usually they had about, like I said, they have about 80 or so odd games. So, I get it, but, you want to be paid. You want to be paid these big bucks, and all these players, they want this and that when, at the end of the day, it's a business deal, it's business. It's nothing personal against any of these guys. It's business now. It's like we've entered the dimension where it's, is it just sports? Is it for the love of the game, or is it, it is a business, and in business they have to make the best decisions, and whether we the fans like it or we the people that sit here and have our opinions about, who did right, who did wrong in that aspects. So that's pretty. It's going to be pretty interesting to see. And then obviously, you got fantasy football drafts and things of that nature. But, I don't like to do my fantasy football drafts till later on, till preseason going on, so I could see the players. And then you got to always, think about the COVID impact and everything else that goes on. And somebody gets hurt or somebody, freak injury, somebody gets hurt, like the Denver Broncos. I think it's a tackle. I don't know if he was the right tackle. Jawan James. He was on an off-season workout. Basically tore his ACL and pretty much going to be done for the year. and he might actually end up losing $10 million. We'll have to follow up on that story. So let's get into some NBA, because the NBA is getting closer to the playoffs here and the play-in games here. All right, tonight we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 games on the NBA slate tonight here. Before we go into that, let's go into some stories here. Pacers suspend assistant coach Greg Foster and fine Gogan Bettids for a dust-up. Okay, we're reading more into that here. Pacers suspend assistant coach. No. Sorry about that. Jasmine Winbush story. She just put this out 11 minutes ago. Well, 2 minutes ago read. Pacers suspend assistant coach Greg Foster. Fine Gogan Bettids following heated verbal altercation, per reports. The two got into a verbal argument where other players had to step in. All right, those of you who didn't know, last night the Sacramento Kings came to play the Indiana Pacers. Things aren't going great for Indiana Pacers as of late, and somewhat of frustration comes ahead Wednesday night's loss to the Sacramento Kings. Their assistant coach Greg Foster and center Gogan Bettids exchanged words in the third quarter, which led to teammates needing to defuse the situation. Pacers are planning on suspending Foster for a game and fining the center Bettids for the altercation, according to Adrian Wojciechowski reports. And the two are looking to put the incident behind them and move on. The altercation came in the third quarter when the Pacers called timeout and Foster and Bettids began shouting at each other as the team was walking back toward the bench. Miles Turner, who didn't play in the game, tries to restrain Foster as he started walking in Banner's direction here. Yeah, obviously they got the video here. The exchange stemmed from what happened several plays before Foster blew up at Banner. While the Kings had the ball, Bettids allowed Sacramento forward Mo Harkless to throw down an easy dunk without challenge the shot at the rim. Foster immediately jumped up off the bench and started shouting at him for not defending the shot better. Then on the following Pacers possession, the second-year center nailed a three-pointer as he was running back on defense. He appeared to shout in Foster's direction, "Sit down." By the time the Pacers called the timeout, Foster was yelling at Bettids. Several players stood between the two, and the situation never escalated past that. But it was enough for Indiana to hand down some punishments on both sides. This is just the latest in what's been a frustrating week for Indiana, which started with reports surfacing of head coach. The head coach is basically featured being in jeopardy with the franchise. So then, that's not good. That's not going good with the Pacers. They're, obviously trying to get the play-in game and get the playoffs here. And, when you're not winning, obviously things start to unravel. People start to point the fingers and the blame at each other and things in that such nature. LeBron James, obviously, he's come back from his high ankle sprain, but obviously it got re-aggravated. So LeBron is not playing tonight once again. And so far there is no return dates set here. Maybe possibly this Sunday against the Suns. And also that's not good news for the Lakers here, which they also play tonight here. Mind you, they play tonight here against the Clippers, which is not going to be an easy game. So that will remain to see. Irving and Nets fined $35,000 each for violating media policy. I'm not going to go into that. Why? Stouts needs deep playoff run to keep his job. Terry Stouts from the Portland Trailblazers. Oscar Robertson dismisses criticism of Russell Westbrook. All right. Jokic, the Joker, was dominant last night in the win over the Knicks. All right, so let's get into some games here. Let's talk about some games, discuss a little bit here. We got the Chicago Bulls going in. Devin Beard, what's up, man? How you doing, man? Appreciate you checking in on me, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the love, man. Hope everything's going well with you, man. Hope everything's going well, Devin. Hopefully everything's going well in your word, Devin. I'm just getting in some NBA, man. If you want to chime in, if you're still around. If not, I appreciate you chiming in, man. And thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you checking in with me. So LaMelo Ball, he was hurt. Possibly he's going to be the rookie of the year. They're trying to make that playoff push here, and then also come to be get to 500 here. They're having a 5-game homestand here to end it here, so that's pretty bodes well for the Hornets here. They're playing Chicago tonight. We should be getting Zach LaVine back after injury, after missing 11 games. And also, well, hopefully Nikolai Vucevic will play. He didn't play last game. That was a big hurt. So obviously the Hornets, they actually got the Hornets on the money line at plus 145. Hornets are plus 4 tonight here if you're taking the spread. The over-under total number of points scored between both teams, 217.5. So you're taking the point spread tonight. They got to score over. If you're taking the over, they got to score over 217.5, which means they got to score 218. And if they're taking the under, they got to score 217 or lower. But yeah, Charlotte Hornets, they're currently the 8th seed in the East here. I mean, playing pretty good, basketball. I mean, Gordon Hayward's been banged up, and obviously LaMelo and some other guys. So if they can get healthier down the stretch, in the playoffs here, hey, who knows? Chicago, this reminds everybody of when Jordan was a player, player coach GM or whatever the hell you want to call it, when he's with the Wizards, And it's kind of funny that the Wizards are having that kind of success this year, So I expect this to be a pretty good game. Obviously Hornets are going to play hard because they're going to be playing hard to get into the playoffs here. Obviously LaMelo wants to prove that he'll be able to, give everybody, a taste of, hey, this is what, was coming in the young team. And obviously they're going to be without, Miles Bridges, who's health and protocol, the COVID or that. So should be a good game down at the Spectrum Center tonight. Figure it to be a pretty good game here. All right, let's check out the next game. We have the Brooklyn Nets going into Dallas tonight to take on the Mavericks. Nets look to rebound in a road matchup versus the Mavericks tonight here. The Brooklyn Nets are 43-23 here. The Dallas Mavericks are 37-28. Dallas Mavericks are plus 145 on the money line tonight. Dallas is also plus 3.5 points on the spread here. So Dallas has got to at least lose by less than 3.5. And then the over-under total points between both teams is 234.5. So they're playing in the American Airlines Center here. Obviously, both teams are playoff teams here. Obviously, the Mavericks in the West and the Nets in the East. But this is, you're trying to get some momentum, or you're trying to get some type of swag going into, this is the last, really month of serious regular season basketball before playoff push. And if you're a team like the Nets, you really want to kind of playoff mode right now and kind of just try to get things. And, the Mavericks as well, they want to try to keep pace, and they want to, in that Wild West. And I don't mean Kumo D, but, hey, it's the Wild West out there in the NBA, this year here. West is got a lot of teams that can win, and it's going to be, I don't think it's not going to be such a easy road for the Lakers this year, and they're finding out right now that they've suffered a lot of injuries and lost a lot of games, and now, they were up at a good seed. Now they're finding themselves, they don't start winning games, they might end up in the playing game. Well, that being said, I think the Nets tonight probably come in there and handle business, but I think this is going to definitely be a good game. It's going to be on TNT. So you can see Ernie, You can see Kenny Smith. You can see Charles Barkley and Shaq. Talked before. And then you have, obviously you probably have Chris Webber and Reggie Miller. Let's see Marv Albert and those other guys that did the commentary as well. Just the guys I know offhand. All right, the next game we have the Washington Wizards on the road, and they've been. And then you got the Toronto Raptors here. They're Raptors are 27-39 here. Wizards are 30-36 here. Well, obviously the Wizards are trying to stay in the playoff hopes to be one of those teams in the playing games, secure the 9 or 10 seed at least. And the Wizards are plus 115 on the money line tonight. The Raptors are minus 2.5 points. The over-under total points in this game between both teams, 236. So again, I think this is going to be both teams got players that are going to try to push the pace. Both teams score in the 110. Obviously, the Wizards score about five or six more points than the Raptors, but they both score about 110 points on average. They both average about 40 rebounds a game and about 25 assists a game. So, this is definitely, Toronto, basically playing to hopefully maybe get in the playoffs spot, or maybe just get lucky to be the playoff push, or just try to, get some sort of momentum going into next year to see what they need to improve on to become a playoff caliber team again. A championship caliber team. They won the championship, and then they kind of fallen off here. I mean, I know it's kind of they're basically playing in the Amelia Arena in Tampa. It's not their normal home in Toronto because, well, Canada doesn't want travels between the United States and them. They basically closed it off and said that's why in the NHL you got basically all the Canadian teams playing each other, and then basically they only stay in Canada. And don't ask me why, but and that's why you have the Blue Jays playing down in Tampa as well, and then eventually in June they're gonna start playing in Buffalo. So, with that being said, I think the Wizards can get a win here tonight. I think Russ and Beal and them. I think they'll pull it out here, even though the Raptors will make it tough for them tonight. All right, we got the Memphis Grizzlies here. They're 33-32. They're coming into Detroit. Detroit is very short-handed. And Detroit is 19-47. Obviously, they're probably one of the worst basketball teams in the NBA. Some people would say that it's the Timberwolves, but I'd like to beg to differ. I think right now it's probably between them, between the Pistons, Orlando, Houston, Minnesota. I mean, some people would try to lump Sacramento in, but I think Memphis definitely is going to come in here and win this game here, and they got something to prove here. Memphis has definitely got something to prove here to try to to get in the playoffs and then show Eddie, hey, we're ready to go. Hey, and apparently Ja Morant went on television in an interview and basically said he's one of the top 5 guards in the NBA. I'm gonna have to disagree with Ja Morant. I think he's one of the top young guards in the game right now. I mean, but Kyrie Irving. Talk about Chris Paul. Donovan Mitchell. Even though he's hurt. So, I mean, you got Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic. I mean, Trigger Trae Young. Like I said, that's just the name, just to name a few. But I respect that at least he has that confidence in himself. He believes he's a top guard in the league. And I think that bodes well for Memphis going forward. All right, so now we have the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks have been on a pretty much a hot streak right now. They're basically 23-10, the second best record in the Eastern Conference since March 1st. So if you're been a betting person, you better been betting on the Atlanta Hawks, that's for sure. And the roster is depleted in Indiana. Indiana's just is getting beat up now, and it doesn't help that the Hawks are coming in hot and ready, and they're trying to position themselves for a good position seed in the playoffs, and Pacers just trying to keep themselves in the playoffs at this point here. But nonetheless, I think this will be this, even though the Pacers are, I think they're going to give a fight tonight here. Well, basically against the Pacers, and then they'll be at home. Have the Oklahoma City Thunder coming in, visiting the Golden State Warriors at the Chase Center in San Francisco. Warriors are 33-33. The Oklahoma City Thunder are 21-45. So the Thunder is plus 900 on the money line. And Golden State is minus 14.5. And the over-under of this game is 226.5. And the Warriors are playing great as of late. Obviously, Oklahoma City Thunder almost had an opportunity to knock off the Suns at home. So you see real good playoff. You're gonna start seeing this team Thunder is their team is not not a very good basketball team at this point right now. But you got some good talent down there. I believe they have the talent and stuff down there. They can piece things together. I think the future looks bright for Oklahoma City. But as far as this year, it's not been very well. And the Warriors have been, staying 500 and competing, and so now the Warriors are going to be playing at home to basically go to end the regular season. So that helps them very much. I think the Warriors win tonight here. Oh, did I do the? Oh, I didn't even do the Hawks one here. Let me go back to the Hawks. So the Pacers are plus 205 on the money line. The Pacers are plus 6 on the spread, and the over/under total of the Hawks and Pacers is 240. My bad, I didn't, go through that one, and I don't think I did the Memphis one either. You go back to that one here. I just kind of gave my analysis. The Detroit Pistons are plus 370 on the money line, plus 9 on the spread. The over/under is 222. Sorry, everyone. Sorry about that. I just kind of gave my analysis on the thing. And last but not least, the last game of the night. The Lakers, the Battle of LA here. Battle of LA. The healthier Clippers season sweep of the Lakers here. The Lakers are 37-28. The Clippers are 44-22. The Lakers are plus 310 tonight on the money line. The Clippers are minus 8.5 on the spread. The over/under total number of points 210.5. Oh, sorry about that. It's my phone. It's scam likely. I don't answer scam likely phone calls here. But no, I think the Clippers are probably going to win this game tonight here. But I think the Lakers should try to play it tough here. Try to play them tough in the trenches here. So there you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. 7 games on the NBA slate. So that's kind kind of a short slate, but short and sweet here. Some some good matchups. Possibly some teams like I say, like the Hawks and Pacers game. Obviously, the Nets and Mavericks, and Lakers and Clippers. Yeah, well, maybe Washington and Toronto, and maybe Chicago and Hornets will be a competitive game here. So let's go to MLB right now. Checking on some early Thursday matinee baseball. We have in the third inning, Milwaukee and Philadelphia 0-0 in Philadelphia. We also in the third between the Astros and the Yankees 0-0. We're in the third where Boston Red Sox lead the Detroit Tigers 2-0. We're in the third. The Texas Rangers now taking a 2-1 lead over the Minnesota Twins. We are in the second. We're in the bottom of the second inning here. Now the game started here in the Mets, between the Mets and the Cardinals. No runs yet, but runners on first and third. Top of the fourth, we go in Milwaukee. Here in a few minutes, the Cleveland Tribe, the Indians, will be taking on the Kansas City Royals. Then we have the Toronto Blue Jays and the Oakland A's and the Oakland Matinee. Then we have the Atlanta Braves and the Washington Nationals at 1:05. We have the Diamondbacks and the Miami Marlins at 3:40 p.m. In the late night game, we have the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the I like to call them the Anaheim Angels. They're not really in Los Angeles. So those are your games. There's only, let's see how many games are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 baseball games today on a Thursday. On a Thursday here, so let's maybe get, like I said, Angel Hernandez is an umpire here. Ejects trio of Royals in the same inning. He's not been having a good week as an umpire right now, and so that is unfortunate. Tony La Russa admits he didn't know extra inning rule. Yeah, Jacob deGrom could pitch Sunday as he works through injury. Stanton stays hot as Yankees top Astros clinch series win. Blue Jays Springer heads back to IL with quad issue. Joey Votto set to miss 1 month with thumb fracture. Well, I got Joey Votto, so I'm going to have to take him out. Also, their pitcher got suspended. Amir Garrett got suspended for 5 games for basically inciting a bench clearing incident. So Tigers have got a run on the board now, so it's 2-1 in that game. That's 2-1 Tigers in that game. So hey, we talked a little bit about NFL, about some of the rookies, who they might think, and if there's any type of news there. We talked some NBA. We've got into some MLB, and now we're going to start talking in some fantasy. We're going to start talking fantasy. I'll talk fantasy baseball. I'm in fantasy basketball right now. I'll kind of go guide you through what I'm in a constellation. I'm not no championships in the NBA and in basketball. Baseball, I'm having fun. We just barely, we started baseball and just kind of go through the players I have and where the position I'm sitting at. We'll go into some, also draft. We'll do some DFS here through DraftKings, and then we'll get into some props here, some strikeout props, and maybe some as far as some of these other games here. Because I think I'm going to try to lean towards that when I'm betting Because as of next week, I'll be in Vegas here. I'll be in Vegas this time next week. Well, I'll be there Wednesday, but be leaving here Tuesday or whatever. That way, we can get that on here. So that's first. We'll go over check over to Yahoo here. I'm checking my Yahoo over here. Huh. All right. Dallas quarterback takes discussion where NFL has been silent. Basically, talk about mental health and his battle personally. A lot of guys battle with mental health. Mental health is a big thing as far as a society. We all deal with mental health is important and is prevalent into keeping us level and balanced. And some people if it's not treated properly, and I don't mean treating it with certain medications and this and that, taking the proper steps to treating it, and it will help people in the long run. Save lives and take it as that people that do have these issues are not weak people. They're not just so. Drew Robinson makes Giants AAA roster 1 year after losing eye in suicide attempt. So look at that. Even in baseball, this kid Drew Robinson. Let's hope that he that he can be able to play the game he was drafted and what he loves. Hopefully he can use that as a platform for people that have been through that. Like I said, mental health and suicide and a lot of things it's prevalent right now, but nobody's talking about it. It's just being swept under the rug in the facets of what's going on in life. Everybody just wants to talk about COVID and this and that, but there's a lot of people not dealing with it very well. Angels releasing Albert Pujols, possibly ending future Hall of Famer's career. Wow. All right, let's see here. Then we got Georgia law. Georgia law now, I guess, lets schools take a big cut of college athletes' endorsement money. Huh. Wow. That's the IOC announces Pfizer will provide vaccines to Olympians ahead of Tokyo Games. I hope none of these people take the fucking that vaccine. Honestly, I've already talked about that. We're gonna sit here and just focus on sports today. Frank Ragnow becomes the NFL's highest-paid center with new lines extension. That's and the Suns last night. They lost to the red hot Atlanta Hawks. Let's go to the fantasy here. I'm gonna go to fantasy and look at the matchups I have right now. Well, John Means last night no hitter is proof of change in MLB here. Man's no hitter. So, but it's going on here. All right, let's go with my Billy's Bulls here. We are battling. We're the eighth. We are the eighth place team. We're battling the seventh place team for seventh place constellation prize here, and it's where I beat this guy named Clippers last week 5-4, and this week I'm beating this guy 5-4. All right, tonight here. I mean, I would say I have LeBron James still, but I mean, I'm not trying to get rid of LeBron James. I mean, I should because I should, but I drafted LeBron James, and I figure it's a disservice to just drop him now. And if he plays now, whatever, I'll just ride this. I'll just ride it out here. And then Josh Jackson, he hasn't played for me. He hasn't played for me here. No, I might have to. Just go drop him and then pick up a player here. Let's see, maybe pick up somebody for tomorrow here. Because I'm gonna need the points here. It's a close matchup here. It's a close matchup, and I'm gonna need any which man I can. Well, I'm gonna go with Steph Curry's brother here, Seth here. He's been pretty good. So I don't know. Like I said, I mean, I don't. I'll even. What's my? I'll even put 10. I'll put 10 on him here. Let me use 10 of my money to bet on him here, so that way I can have another guard here. LeBron here and injured. Then maybe I can. Maybe with that too, I could probably pick somebody else up, and then if he does play on Sunday, then let's check out forwards here. He's like a point guard forward, but man. Maybe I should take my man Alec Burke out here, even though. All right, hold on here. Hey, what's up, Dad? Pretty good, just chilling. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yep. Yep. Sounds good. All right, Dad. Sounds good. Love you. Bye. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that here. It's my pops over here. You gotta go get everything ready for the fishing expedition tomorrow. Hopefully we'll catch some fish. Catch some fish fishing tomorrow here. Yeah. Now it's like I'm really getting desperate down here now. I mean, down here is like, man, shit. I'm really getting desperate here. All right, we'll add him. All right, so that way we'll do that here. Okay. All right, so tonight's lineup I have here, and I have T.J. McConnell, I have Jalen Brunson, I have Kyle Kuzma is a game time decision. I got Isaiah Roby, I got Laura Marklin, I got Isaiah Stewart, Nikolai Vucevic game time decision, Demotis Sabonis, and we'll add Josh Jackson, but he's going to be going to the wayside here as of tomorrow. Here. So I'm in my opponent here. Let's just look at my opponents. Yeah. My opponent has Eric Bledsoe, Josh Richardson, Duncan Robinson, Paul George, PJ Washington, Kristaps Porzingis, but he's on injured reserve. DeAndre Jordan, Montrezl Harrell, Zion Williamson. He's got Lou Will, Joe Ingles, Paul Millsap, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then on IL, he's got Russell, D'Angelo Russell, Hassan Whiteside, OG Anunoby. And so basically he's beating me in field goal percentage, but barely. He's got .445. I got .429. I'm beating him in free throw percentage. He's beating me in 3-pointers by 11. He's beating me in points. I'm beating him in rebounds. He's beating me by 9 assists. I'm beating him in steals and blocks and less turnovers. So this guy is a gold. As far as basketball, I'm a silver. But, it's not even about that here. All right, so. All right, I'm winning this one 7-2 here. This one I don't have anybody, so I can get an extra guy here. And basically, I think he's been ruled out, I believe. Yeah, he's illness, but it's not COVID. So this one I got Desmond Bain, Reggie Jackson, Theo Maledon. I got Isaiah Roby, Laura Marklin, Clint Capella. Yeah. Marvin Bagley III, Isaac Okoro, Cameron Johnson, Christian Woods, Ruho Hamachirui, and LeBron James, but I can get one more player here. So. Alright, we'll take this guy here. Take Evan Foreign. While LeBron is on details here. Yeah. I'm not beating this my matchup 7-2 here, so that's that here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna cut this short here and sweet. I gotta get ready, get dressed here. But I'll definitely talk to y'all later. Hopefully the best bets will be with you. And I might be back here to do a thing about fantasy bets and get in some DFS and all that here. But for now, we're signing off. Thank you.